welcome back to Escape to the Workshop. Today we're going to have a look at something that's a little bit more my sort of scene as such. So this is a little solar festoon light that's decided to die after a lightning strike. So I'm going to pull this apart today and have a bit of a look and see if we can see what's going on. So I'll just get straight into it. This will probably be a short one because I don't see there being much in this box apart from a battery and a little board, I guess. Nice little pretty garden lights to make your backyard a little bit nicer when you're entertaining. Yep, nicely stuck together. There we go. Oh yeah, not very much at all. Little solar panel, little tiny board, and the battery. And that is literally it. I've got a little bit of sunlight here. There's a bit of sunlight coming in from above me, so I might have enough to see if the solar panel's got power on it. I might just take the solar panel out too, so it'll be easy to measure it from that board rather than trying to get to the actual wires for the solar panel, because they've got glue or silicone or something over them. Screws stuck on the rubber. Get out. Out. There we go. Just pull that rubber switch off so I don't lose it. So my background's actually electronic, so this is a little bit more my stream than the fireplace I was making. Did appliances for 5 years and did security for a while and did a whole lot of other things. So this is obviously a very simple board because there is literally just a switch, one little chip. Yeah, that doesn't actually look very healthy. I'll bring this over. Still measure everything. Let's come around so I can actually see what I'm pointing at. Oops, wrong way around. So, I don't know if the camera's going to show it, but there's a little tiny dot, black dot, just there. It's really hard to see, but it looks like it's actually been blown up. There's actually a hole in the chip. So we'll just see if we've got power in the right places. Looks like the battery's dead as well. That's alright, we can grab another battery, that's easy. Well, there's still a tiny bit of power in the battery. It's definitely registering, but it's definitely flat. So it'd be time for a new battery because that one won't like being done like that. So we have that one there, here's the solar panel. That wire just there. There. Oops, put it the right way. It's actually got a little bit of sun coming on it. Yep. Hopefully the camera's showing that. Not much because it's not a lot of light in here, but there's definitely... Come on fingers, you can do it. There we go. So you can definitely see there that there's a bit of power coming in off the solar panel there. And this battery's definitely got a tiny bit of power in it, but it might come up, it might not, I don't know. So we'll go off and get a new board for it, see what I can find as far as a replacement board's concerned, and then we'll come back and if it's the same, then we'll pop it straight in. Otherwise, if it's not, then we'll see how we make it fit. We'll be back. Okay, so we now have a board. quite the same. Actually, it's not the same in any way, shape or form. Nice tiny little board. It's actually got LEDs mounted on it already, and it's got a button instead of a switch, so I guess I might just be gluing this one in for, at least to test it and see if it works. And I'm guessing I'm going to have to desolder the LEDs that are already on this board, so that I can then wire it up to the board the wiring that's in here. So we'll see what happens with this one. The other thing I need to do is obviously get a battery, which we might do that first. So I have this spare pack of NiCad nickel metal hydrides rather. So I'm going to grab one of those out and use that as the replacement battery, because the other one's just a little bit too low and it's possibly damaged it. So I'm going to measure up a couple of these and see which one's sort of the closest to being good, and we'll pop that in and hopefully it charges it. Not going to measure anything with the cover on it. .98 seems pretty good. Assuming they're a 1.2 volt battery. So I'm going to pick that one out. Won't bother measuring any of the others. I'm going to mark it as the one I'm going to pull. So all I'm going to do is just pull this tab off between the two, or cut it, whatever happens first. Just be careful not to touch any of the other cells. And be careful not to pierce it. Obviously these ones aren't as bad as lithium's, but you still don't want to put a hole in your battery. Just be very careful when you're poking and prodding and levering those around. Now we've got enough of a hold on it, we can now cut it open. There we go. And there's our battery. What I'll do is I'll just peel the rest of the welded tab off as much as I can get off. And it doesn't want to come off. That's okay. Try the small cutters. There we go. That's got it off. So now there's still a bit of a spiky bit on there. So I've got a Dremel light tool here. This will just finish cleaning the top of it off, just to flatten the lumps down. as you can see, that's nice and flat now. This one's still got a couple of dots on it, so I'll just get rid of those ones now. So that's now just taken the welding parts off, so they can now be either re-welded or put in a pack. So this one actually has a battery slot, like a normal battery, old school battery pack. So we'll just reuse that as it is. So I'm just going to pop that in the charger over here. So I've now got that sitting in the charger, just to get it up to voltage ready to go straight in, so it should work straight up. We'll just heat the soldering iron up so I can desolder the wires from the battery loop and the solar panel off this old unit, and also obviously the cable for the actual LEDs. Now, so one thing I didn't do with this lot last time is I forgot to actually check that the circuit's actually okay. Now it seems to be okay, but these boards do a bit of a weird thing with making it power up, or it's got a higher voltage than I was willing to put into it. So I got it up to about 4.5 volts, and it came on for a second and then went back again because the batteries that I was using were flat. So it should be okay, but I guess I won't find out until I put the new board in. So I was just having a look at the board there just to see what the way they've done the wiring for the LEDs here. I might just try and tag onto it and see if I can just put the wiring on the side of the LED rather than having to de-glue them and take them off, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Just pop that back in there for now, so it's out the way. Just waiting for the soldering iron to heat up. For those of you that are interested, this is just the old school tin and lead one, not the straight tin one, because it requires just a lower melting point. So it's easy to work with. Yeah, I obviously have to be careful with just being mindful of the fact that there's lead in it, so try not to breathe too much of it in. Now, so the wire here has some little spots on it. So there's a dot there and a dot there and a dot there, and that corresponded to the positive on this side of the board. So I'm more saying that so that I can hopefully remember it when it comes to putting it back together again. Okay, that's this whole panel out. that's the battery panel. So that little board can go in the bin. Just reading the labelling on the board as to what goes where. And I've managed to get it wrong. Alright, that's the battery hooked up. Solar panel next. Now all the wires are trying to move and make it really hard for me to do the soldering. Of course, if I wasn't filming this, it would probably go perfectly well, because I'm trying to film it. It decides it wants to be difficult. But that's okay, we got there. Right, so that's the board soldered in. So just having another look at the board to see how this wiring goes. I might just have to solder it up and see what happens. Okay, so there's a orange and a yellow pair there, so one's a white, one's a warm white, one's a bright white. So that'll be the modes that it's in. So I might just go across a couple of the the LEDs here. At the moment I don't know if it's going to work or not. It's not very well on, but it's on. So we'll wait for that battery to charge and then we'll hook it all up and see if it actually wants to work on it. Alright, well as you can see, it's working off the LEDs off the board. It's got some nice little modes there you can cycle through. It's off now. So it's just the white ones, just the yellow ones, just a light version of it, and then back to a bright one. But it won't work on these ones, which I want it to. It just refuses to actually turn them on. So I'm guessing it's not quite powerful enough to drive these ones. So that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching. I will order another board and see if I can get one that'll actually do what I want it to do this time. Alright, thanks guys. See you in the next one.